This is Russ. Yeah, time for more questions and answers and comments from you. So, the last video I made, I asked the question about whether you had been fat shamed on your e-bike or worse. Okay, and so a lot of comments came through. Now, those may not be questions, but they're still comments. We'll read them. And some of you also gave me questions about e-bikes to answer. So we'll kind of cover it like we did last time. Now, I want to make a quick announcement here too. You want to watch this video straight through, okay? Because I'm going to have an announcement somewhere in the middle of the video. Yeah, we're going to do a giveaway. And so you want to find out about the giveaway, and it'll be somewhere in the middle or so of the video, or maybe later. So see how I get you to watch the whole video? So you're going to have to watch the video to find out the announcement and how you can enter to win. Now, the one thing I want to make clear here is usually when you do some type of contest or giveaway or something like that, all the scammers come out, all right? So don't listen to any of the scammers. They may say it's me, I'm Russ. They'll show a picture of me. They'll say telegram me or whatever, okay? Don't believe any of that, okay? If you don't hear it from me straight out of my mouth on the video, you didn't win anything, okay? And I'm not giving away a bike. I'm going to tell you that right now. So if they tell you that you want a bike and you need to send them money to pay for the shipping of it, that is a scam. Do not fall for that, okay? So I didn't put the title as, hey, we're doing a giveaway, because that'll just bring scammers out. They don't watch the videos. They just look at the titles, all right? And they look at your comments to see how you're commenting, to see if you're actually doing something like that. And then they'll try to scam us. So I found a way I can try to do this without getting them and still get you to watch the rest of the video, okay? So watch the whole video. All right, so let's go ahead and start. And just like last time, somewhere around the, 17, 18 minute mark, something like that, I'm going to have to stop and restart the camera because, as I mentioned before, my camera only records maybe 17 or 18 minutes at a time before it shuts itself down. So we beat it to the punch. I shut us down and start us right up immediately, okay? So if you hear me saying I got to reset the camera, that's the reason for it. All right, let's start from the beginning. We have quite a few. I'm gonna take the swig of water right now. Kind of get me going here. Okay, let's start. So the first one that I have here, let me get my mouse and my computer all set up here. Move the keyboard out of the way. All right, first one's from Snip King. I can't see being fat shamed because I see fat guys in spandex on road bikes. That's a good one to start out with. Okay, hopefully you don't fat shame them, right? All right, Wally says, hey Russ, your tires are fat. My tires are fat, but it's not the only thing fat. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 4-inch fat tires, right? Martin Kenny says, hi, when is the better time of the year to buy an e-bike? Okay, so he's asking, when's the best time to buy an e-bike? Any time is a good time to buy an e-bike. See how that came out? I think the e-bike companies typically will give discounts during some type of holiday. Yeah, like certain companies will give you, hey, it's a Valentine's Day special, you get X amount of dollars off. Or, hey, it's hey, it's Christmas, time for a sale. Any excuse they can give you to get a sale going, they're going to try to do that. So typically holidays, you'll find some discounts going on. Yeah, so that I would say that would be the best times of the year to get it. Yeah. But, if you need a bike right away and you can't wait for that, then that's the best time to order a bike. But in terms of best deals, I think holidays. Yeah, just keep your eyes open for holidays. All right. Pepe Ren Corel. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your names. I'm lousy at that. But Pepe says, if you think you are fat, Russ, what about me? I weigh 350 pounds and I can't wait to save enough money to buy electric e-bike. Yeah, he's looking at the electrics. Yeah, well, those are great bikes. I think you'll have a good time when you finally get yours. But yeah, you weigh a little bit more than I do. But we find a lot of these bikes now are being rated to like 400 plus pounds. Yeah, I think a lot of the bikes in the past, when I was looking at them, they were like 265 pound maximum limits. Some of them have raised it to the 400 level, and that's because some of the frames are getting really beefy now. I have a couple bikes that can do over 400 pounds. One of them's like the Himiway. I have a Himiway Zebra that's rated to 400 pounds. But if you take a look at the construction of that bike, it's built solid. I mean, that is solid. So I don't doubt it'll handle 400 pounds. But other bikes too, they'll say, we'll handle 400 pounds total. So yeah, good. All right, next one, Pink Stampane. Oh, it's like pink champagne. Pink Stampane. Pink's Stampane. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Anyways, she says, many times called a cheater, I ignore them. Yeah, ignore those guys if you can, right? It's not worth getting into an argument with those guys. Just kind of move on and get away from them. Rob Turnowski says, cheating, I just give them my bike and have them go uphill on hills that I go up. And I have stock battery and controller on my Rad City. Not easy. So yeah, he's he's saying, yeah, try a bike with an e-bike going up a hill. It makes a big difference. Yeah, if your bike has good torque, yeah, you can do it. All right. Gold Bear Bunny, she says, I was fat shamed for just owning an e-bike. And bicyclists are not too happy as I fly by them. Good thing I don't care about people's opinions. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you can just let things roll off, you're better off. Yeah, good for you. Gen Z 2008 says, if I was called a cheater by a walker or a slow cyclist, I would ask a simple question. If a pack of feral dogs were chasing us, who do you think they would catch and eat? Not me. You guys have some funny stuff, I tell you. Sometimes your comments make me laugh. All right, James Matthews. Here's a battery question. Okay, we have a question now. It says, I have a Rad City 5 bike. Right now I have one battery, but plan to buy another one for more range. I know you understand batteries, so I will ask a non-e-bike question. Can I use the Rad battery to supply another device? I plan to buy an electric outboard motor for a sailboat I am building. The boat motor uses a 48-volt battery, as does the Rad City bike. I have range concerns with the boat motor and wonder if I could use the bike battery for the boat. Okay, I could buy extra batteries for the boat, but it would be nice to just use the bike batteries. What do you think? I'm going to answer you the way a manufacturer from another company would say is, we have no idea how the other device will handle our battery, so you should ask the other company. So I'm going to say the same thing because I don't know the application of how it will work within that sailboat. It may work, it may not work, all right? And whether that's safe, that's the thing too. It's always a legal question. Nobody wants to be blamed for something. So if I give you an opinion, I don't want to be blamed for that. So I'm gonna defer to saying check with those other manufacturers to see what they think, since it's their battery and it's their boat. Okay. But having said that, if you're asking me personally, what do I personally think would it work? My gut feeling is it'll probably work. All right. But don't take my word for it, because I don't want the liability and I don't know whether it really would. But 48 volts is 48 volts, in my opinion. The amperage, the amp hour rating is how long you can actually use the battery for. So I'm thinking there shouldn't be that much of a problem as long as there's a compatibility of usage within, how much the boat needs compared to how much the bike battery gives. If those match, I don't see why it wouldn't work. I mean, it's DC voltage either way. But double check before you do anything and ruin anything, okay? All right. E-bike reviews. Hey, Russ, what new channels have you followed? Okay, I'm thinking he's asking what new e-bike channels have I followed, because I watch a lot of stuff. It's not just e-bikes, I watch more YouTube than I watch television. In fact, I don't even watch television anymore. I don't think I've seen a television program in a good 15, 20 years. I watch mostly YouTube. I'm not kidding. I watch mostly YouTube. I'm a pure YouTuber. I watch all the YouTube stuff. Yeah, and then I'll watch things like Netflix and stuff like that. But, but actual network television, I don't watch a whole lot anymore. Haven't watched it in years. I don't even know what's TV shows are out there. But in terms of new e-bike channels, I haven't added too many new ones since the last time I told you guys. I told you guys I watched guys like Citizen Cycle, and I watch all the e-bike reviewing type channels that I can see. Anything that says you're an e-bike channel, I probably have watched you at one time. I don't follow everybody, but some of them I do. I watch a lot of you guys actually now, because I know there's a number of our subscribers have started their own channels. They're just kind of starting out. So, I watch you guys. I do. I can't say I watch you every single episode, and I don't may not watch it all the way through, but I try my best to kind of see what you're up to. So, all right, so let's move on. Marcelo Panico. I had a hip replacement, still ride an e-bike. I heard that riding bikes is bad for your prostate. What is your opinion on that subject? Okay, most guys can relate to what he's asking here, right? I'm not the only one that would be kind of chuckling at that question. I wouldn't think it's that great for it, to tell you the truth. You have to adjust your saddle properly so that you're not being squished the way you don't want to be squished. I typically take my saddles and I kind of tilt the nose slightly down, not so far down that you're sliding off the seat, but I'm saying low enough that I don't feel it as much. I mean, you still have some contact, but yeah, I wouldn't think biking is that great for it, for the prostate thing. Yeah. What am I gonna do? I mean, I like the bike. And so certain things you just have to, you kind of take a little gamble, right? So, but yeah, ask your doctor. That's a doctor question. I don't know. I can't answer it properly. But I personally would think it's not as great as if you didn't do it at all. But I want to be on my bike, so I take that gamble. So, all right, Rip One Outdoors. Okay, Rip One Outdoors. He says, not shamed yet, but I see the haters on the e-bike groups calling e-bikers lazy. Yeah, they do. They call us all sorts of names. But yeah, they think we're lazy because we're using an e-bike. If it wasn't for the e-bike, I wouldn't even be on a bike, right? So really, without it, I wouldn't be riding. So am I lazy? No, I don't think so. If I was lazy, I wouldn't buy the e-bike. Then I'd stay home and watch YouTube. No, I don't think we're lazy, but maybe we don't do as much as they would like to do and get all sweaty and all sorts of stuff. We have it a little bit easier of a time, and we go faster than them many times because of our e-bikes. But I don't think we're really lazy, but they do call us stuff like that. So retired Navy 92 commented back and says, they're usually the ones who think that they'll never be owed. I just laugh at them and shake my head. Yeah, as we get older, we have certain things that we'd rather make it a little easier for ourselves. So why not? So, all right, Tony McGurk. He says, at my age, and if I keep licking my lips, it's because I'm drying out, and I will take a swig of water every now and then. It's tiring talking nonstop, right? So, Tony McGurk, he says, at my age, I'm past caring what others may think of me. Yeah, I agree. I've gotten to the point now where I don't really care. Yeah, I a lot of times I'll just go out and do things, and I don't really care what they think that I'm doing this or I'm doing that, or whatever they're thinking. I'll just do it. I think that comes with age. We just don't care anymore. Even on YouTube, I've been called every name in the book here on YouTube. Initially, it kind of bothered me, but now I don't care. You can call me whatever you want. I'm just going to ban you. If you insult me or you insult my subscribers, I ban you. I've said that before, right? All right, Cheryl Newell. She says, my question is, does anyone know of a good drop-in speaker for a bike helmet? Oh, okay. I think the Senna helmets is a communication type helmet, so you can talk among yourselves between riders. But I think it also connects up to like Bluetooth, so you can stream music from your phone. How good of a headphone, how good of a speaker that is in the helmet, I don't know. Ask Rip One Outdoors. Yeah, go on his channel and ask him how he likes it. I don't know if he uses it to communicate with his brothers when they're riding, but ask him if he's ever tried running music through it and how good is the music. But I had heard before from other people that, you know, we're not talking high fidelity, okay? You're not going to hear like, ooh, it's amazing stereo sound. It's like the bass is so great. You're not going to get that. Yeah, I don't know of any thing that would give you that, short of putting like ear pods in your ear. But that's, to me, is dangerous, because then you can't hear anything else other than the music that's going on, and that's dangerous to ride a bike not hearing the outside sounds. So yeah, ask him. Maybe he might know. All right. Okay. Thanks for your question. Wayne Kremlock. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Let me take this. Let me take this opportunity to go ahead and stop the camera and then restart it. Okay. Sit tight. Okay, I'm back. It's usually fast, but I have to do it. The camera requires me to do it. In fact, if you notice, I'm not as sharp looking as the background of the ride. It's because the ride is shot at 4K. This camera I'm using is 1080p. That's why I never look as crisp and sharp when you see me on these green screen things. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, here we are. James. Wayne Kremlock. He says, not so much anymore, but people used to yell, you can't ride a bike on the street, in the street. I would get more of, you can't ride that bike on a sidewalk than on the street. But I hear what you're saying. You know, a lot of times, especially cars would say, you're slowing them down, right, when you're in the lane. So they would probably say, get off the street. But then you get on the sidewalk, and then the guy walking on the sidewalk says, get off the sidewalk. So where are you supposed to ride this thing? In my area, you can ride the sidewalk, I found out. But some areas you can't. All right, I was told at one time that you can't ride on the sidewalk, but then later I found out you can. But I think a lot of people will not know the actual rules, and so when they see a big 4-inch fat tire, 26-inch fat tire bike with big frame coming down a sidewalk towards them, they kind of get upset. All right, so you should be on the street. But yeah, you have the legal right to be on the street. So don't let anyone tell you that you can't be on the street. But I can see why they would be mad if you were on a sidewalk, even though you might have the legal right to be there. It's just like the same people that yell at me on the bike paths and says you can't have a motorized vehicle on the bike path. But if they really read the rules in our area, the motorized vehicles they are talking about are things like motorcycles, right? Gas-powered motor vehicles. And our area, the rules state that the e-bikes are allowed on those paths. But people don't know that, right? So they'll yell at you because they don't actually understand the actual law in that area. They kind of figured it says no motorized vehicle. That has a motor. That's a motorized vehicle. It's not the type of motorized vehicle they're talking about. Okay, a lot of those signs were put up before the e-bikes even came here. So they're not really talking about that. They're really talking about motorized vehicles that are gas-powered vehicles, right? Let me tell you something too. You guys know I had a video out that talked about this, where I was in Bussy Woods and a woman rides past me and she yells out at me saying, "I don't think motorized vehicles are allowed on this path," right? Let me say something here, okay? Her comment got me a free e-bike. That's because Area 13 saw that. They put it on their video, and he liked my response. And so he sent me an e-bike, which I now use on some of my rides, okay? So, yeah, she kind of helped me out. Some of you guys said, yeah, we need more of those people to say that so Russ can get more bikes. Okay, anyway, next one. Let's see who. No, that's not Pedro. Yeah, Pedro Fernandez says, I've been shamed for not wearing a helmet, and some spandex dude once referred to my e-bike as cute. I am sure he was making fun. He probably was. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of responses there. I'm gonna skip the responses to the comment, but yeah, they were probably making fun of you. Martin Kenny, he says, how much does it cost to recharge a battery of 52 volts, 20 amp hours? Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. What is the rate at the kilowatt hours? Because you're charging, what is it? 20 amp hours. I think a 20 amp hour battery probably takes at least 6 to 8 hours to fully charge. So most of the fast chargers most of the chargers between 2 amp hours to 3 amp hours in rate. So yeah, okay. You could have faster chargers too. Faster chargers are not necessarily better for your battery, by the way. Slower chargers actually is better for your battery, but it takes longer. I don't know. I'm gonna guesstimate that the charge an e-bike battery is probably. I'm gonna guess between 25 cents and 50 cents, maybe. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But it's not like charging a Tesla, okay? You're charging a smaller device, so it can't cost that much. No, you'd be saving more money riding your bike than you would be riding your car. All right, so don't worry too much about it. All right, Pedro Fernandez again. He says, "Would you consider reviewing an e-trike?" Yes, I would, but I'm not going to go out and buy one. All right, I don't personally need an e-trike. I can ride a regular bike, so if the companies gave me one to review, I'd be happy to take it in and review it. Yeah, but I would not go out and actually purchase one now. Having said that, I'm going to the San Francisco area, and as we know, not too far in that general area is a Rad Power Bike store. Okay, which town is it in? I can't remember, but it's up in the San Francisco type area. Okay, in the Bay Area. So I'm hoping to try to go visit that store, and while I'm there, I'm going to ask them if I can record my time there, and then make a video out of it. If they say no, you can't, then I'm going to ask them if I can try an e-trike. Yeah, because they have an e-trike. And if they say, no, you can't, then, of course, then there's nothing I could do. But if they say you could do it, but you can't record it, I'll try it out, and then I'll report back. Yeah, let you know what my experience is with the trike. So, yeah, but I won't buy one. I don't have a need for it. I mean, the two trikes that are gaining the most notoriety now is the Rad Power Bikes at around $2,500, and then the Lectric's new trike, which is $1,500. And of the two, I would tend to think the Lectric would be something I'd be more interested in trying, but they don't have places where I can try that. But at $1,500 compared to $2,500, I tend to think many people in our age brackets that may be on fixed incomes at this point probably would rather see the $1,500 over the $25, unless they got a lot of money, right? And price is no object, and of course I would try them both. But if I was on a fixed income, I would think $1,500 would be a better thing to try out first, right? Okay, thank you for your question, Raven. I may have gotten a couple of dirty looks, but no critical comments from the spandex wearing elitists on their expensive racing bikes while passing them out and on the trails. But most riders as well as walkers are friendly and say hi or give a nod. That's true. I've noticed that most people are friendly and they will smile as I pass them. Yeah, you get the few, who kind of ruin it for everybody, and then they make comments and stuff like that. But yeah, but I have noticed too some of our comments here. We have comments about them, calling them spandex wearing elitists. So we can't be totally at fault. They can't be totally at fault either. We sometimes say things too. So we shouldn't do that either, quite frankly. Everyone should be friendly to everybody. So, but I hear you. All right, Rob Turnowski. Rob says, what does it take for you to be a YouTuber? I mean, what is your process? All right, it's not an e-bike question, but I do get a lot of questions on how to become a YouTuber and how did I do it. Yeah, go out and get a knee replacement. That's how I started. No, actually, I started my channel before the knee replacement, but just prior to the knee replacement. I didn't have a direction, and then I got a knee replacement. As you all know, it took like 2 years to get over. I had a terrible recovery time. And even to this day, I'm not 100% perfect, but I'm functioning, right? but yeah, it became a knee replacement channel for a couple years, and I think during a couple years, towards the end of it, I got over 1,000 subscribers for my knee replacement. But as you know, I bought the e-bike to help rehab my knee, and then after I bought the knee e-bike, people started watching me for e-bike stuff as I was riding, and the next thing you know, Russ is Right turned into an e-bike channel. So the thing with YouTube, you need a lot of people get into it because they wanna monetize it. In other words, they want to make money doing YouTube, right? Because they heard that, well, you make a certain amount of money, and sometimes people give you things, for reviews. You get to keep that for free, all that kind of stuff. So they want to become a YouTuber. Let me say this real quickly. If you want to become a YouTuber and you're not willing to put in the time and effort, you're not going to be a good YouTuber. It takes time. Yeah, it took me a good 2 years to get to the point where I became monetized. And to become monetized, you have to have 1,000 subscribers at least. And once you get to 1,000 subscribers, within a year of that time, you need to get 4,000 viewable hours. Okay, so think about that. Right? I'm not saying 4,000 minutes, 4,000 viewing hours from people to watch within the 1 year time after you get the 1 year, the 1,000 subscribers. If you get that, then you become monetized. All right. Now, you don't get a lot of money initially because your money comes from ad revenue. So what happens is ads are running whether you're a monetized person or you're not. Okay, they changed the rules. Before, they used to do it so that only monetized YouTube channels would have ads running, but now they run the ad whether you are monetized or you're not. You could be on your very first YouTube video and ads will be running. Okay, that happens, but all the money goes to YouTube at that point. But once you become monetized, they share the money with you. In which case, the YouTuber, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think it's something like 55% goes to the YouTuber, and then 45% or something like that goes to YouTube. Okay, don't hold me to that, but it's roughly in that rough area. So the money is generated from the ads, then go to you, right? So that's why a lot of people want to become YouTubers. But I'm telling you, it's not a whole lot of money unless you have a lot of views. So it's not the subscriber count that makes you the money. It's the views. If nobody watches your video, but you have 1 million viewers or 1 million subscribers, but very few people watch your videos, you don't make anything. Okay? You could have 10,000 subscribers and make more money than a guy that has 100,000 subscribers if a lot of people watch your videos. You see what I'm saying? And you would think, if everyone's watching your videos, how come you don't make as much? How come you don't have as much subscribers? Not everybody subscribes. Okay, so the whole point of subscribing is it lets advertisers know there's a big following going on. Like, for instance, Russ is Right has currently 13,000 subscribers, a little over 13,000 subscribers, but I probably make more money than some other 13,000 subscriber YouTube people. Because I have a lot of people who keep watching the videos, and my videos tend to be kind of long, so the hours start building up. Not everybody watches it to the end, but if you do, that builds up the hours. Of course, people, if they like you good enough, they'll just keep watching. So I'm not saying you should make long videos. I'm just saying make good quality content where people feel comfortable enough to keep watching. Right? That's the key. So. Yeah, you can't be an instantaneous YouTuber unless you're really lucky. Most people take a couple of years just to even get monetized, and it could take them a couple of years to actually start making some decent money out of it. So, yeah. Okay, we'll move on. Okay. Before I do that, let me reset the camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, next one is XB Marks. I had never had a bad comment, but my e-bike is a massive cargo bike, and it would be impractical without the motor, even for people with high fitness. So I think even anti-e-bike people see it and give it a pass for that reason. Yeah, I think if they see it's a cargo bike and you're using it to transport things, there's not a whole lot they can say, all right? If you're just riding for the sake of riding, they probably would say more. So yeah, I tend to agree. All right. Johnny Sager says, I'm in the 60s age group, and it's usually the younger bikers who make comments. And when I was their age, I rode normal bikes. I usually got serious and tell them I hope they are financially able to afford one when they get older like me. And they usually just ride away, and then I pass them later, and I'm doing it, not pedaling. So yeah, yeah, some of the younger guys might make comments, but yeah, a lot of them don't have the money to buy an e-bike. So yeah, you're right. Maybe if they're lucky, they can buy an e-bike when they get older. All right, sewing without history. Oh, sewing throughout history. I'm sorry. So sewing throughout history says, yeah, I had some people say my e-bike is cheating. But then again, most people drive a vehicle, which is cheating on the horse and carriage. Good point. Power tools cheat on manual hand tools. I can go on, but for some reason, e-biking is cheating. I've had people shake their heads at me, looking straight at my bike as though I had disappointed them as I ride by them, as though they own the path and won't allow e-bikes on the path. If they had a say in it, if it weren't for my e-bike, I wouldn't even have made it down far down the path. And I like that it's fun and low impact on my body, and I feel like I can go further. Nobody should be gatekeeping who can see the trails, paths, and nature. Those things are for everyone to enjoy. Yeah, yeah. If you didn't have the e-bike, you wouldn't have a chance to go enjoy a lot of that type of stuff. And quite frankly, I wouldn't even be doing any of that if I didn't have an e-bike. I'm not taking a regular bike. I don't have the ability to ride a regular bike a long distance and ride it back because of my knee and my weight and everything. So yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that I even had an e-bike, I wouldn't be able to do some of the stuff that everybody else is able to do. So yeah, there shouldn't be gatekeepers. They should just let everyone do it. Letter O. O says, it's pretty ridiculous for other bikers to complain about e-bikes since they're cheating too instead of running. Yeah, it's kind of similar. Most are just ignorant, since who wouldn't want more opportunities for more laps or going longer distances? You can still pedal like how you did on a normal bike. Yeah, you could pedal a regular e-bike if you wanted to. It would be harder. It wouldn't be as easy, but you could. But yeah, people just like to complain. What can I say? George Alexa. Okay, I'm sorry if that if you have an Alexa unit that turned your Alexa on, sorry about that. But that's his name, George Alexa. Okay. He says, Russ, I have a confession. I came here and stole. Yes, I copied and pasted some lovely comments and plan to memorize them on what to say when I'm called a cheater, or you can't ride that here. But I did reply to those who gave terrific responses, so I hope I can get off easy with their blessings and yours. Yeah, you can use, I'm sure they'll be happy if you use their comments to combat the e-bike hate. Joey Joe Jr. Yeah, I like that name. Joey Joe Jr. says, I have not been called a cheater yet, but if I do, I will reply with either 1, you mean like Lance Armstrong? Or 2, does that mean I qualify for the Tour de France? Now, if you don't know who Lance Armstrong is, you haven't been following the Tour de France. Yeah, he was a big-time winner of the Tour de France, and he was caught doping. So yeah, he was cheating. All right, we're gonna let that one go. Indy Mian. Last year, I stopped in Wichita, Kansas, at a small park for lunch and short hike when a guy came up to me and says, "They'll take that bike." I says, "It's locked and to the rack and the hitch," and he was just laughing. Then I went to Walmart, and I came back from the store, and a beat-up pickup truck and a small sports car had parked behind me. Both guys were watching me. Time to move on. Yeah, it sounds like they were casing out your bike. Yeah, I don't trust any of the locks, quite frankly. I think they can defeat almost anything nowadays. There's angle grinders, there's cable cutters, there's lock cutters. There's a whole bunch of stuff. They can get your bike if they wanted to, so they probably were watching you. Yeah, so be careful out there. S. Shaw, hey Russ, concerning the Rad Rover 5, I suggest you give it away for free. Pray on it. Pass your blessings on to someone else. Pray on it, my brother. Yeah, let me say something about that, because people always tell me to donate the bike or to have a contest and give them a bike. I guess I could just give you away all my bikes, but let me say this: as a retired person, okay, I don't get income from traditional sources, and so what happens is when and the Rad Rover 5 was not one that I got. I paid for that bike. I think by the time I finished paying for it, it was over $1,800 something plus the rack and all the other stuff I put on it, the extra batteries, the hydraulic brake calipers on it, and everything. So to give it away would be giving away a lot of money I paid for. Okay. Now you may say for bikes that you didn't pay for, give those away. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Let me say real quickly here, because I know a lot of people comment I should just give away my bikes. If you were a manufacturer of something and you made products, do you give those things away? You probably sell them, right? Or if you have a product or a service, you probably sell your services, or they probably pay you for your work. YouTube, in a sense, is kind of like my work at this point. It helps support my family for whatever income comes in from the ads that run. The companies who give me e-bikes, yeah, that's not all free. They'll issue you a 1099. You got to pay taxes on that thing. Yeah, nothing is really free, quite frankly. Now, some other people may see it as free, but eventually it catches up to them. But yeah, you do have to pay taxes if they issue you a thing where they've told the government that, we've given them X amount of bikes, we've given them X amount of revenue from it. You got to pay taxes on that, and it's pretty hefty as a individual, right? So if they gave me a $2,000 bike, I have to pay taxes that are in $40-something or 40% ranges of that, and then I give that away on top of it. I would be doing everything out of the goodness of my heart. So I just want to say, for those who always keep telling me, do a raffle, give away a freebie and whatever. Some YouTubers do that, but I think they may not realize that, it's going to catch up to them for that. One of the reasons I don't accept every bike is the fact that, it's going to cost me to take that bike in and do that review. And if I have to either sell it at a loss, lower than the retail price, I'm essentially doing the work for free. So I kind of see it as if I give away certain things, that's fine. If I was given stuff to give away, like Magicycle gave me a whole bunch of mirrors to give away, that's fine. They as a company use that as a promotion to promote them to get more sales, and you might say, well, if you give away a bike, it'll get you more people to watch you. Maybe not. All right. But, giving away small little things is one thing. Giving away things that are costing $1,000 to $2,000 or more would be another story, right? And because of the fact that I have to support my family somehow as well, okay, meaning me and my wife at this point, and pay taxes and do other things like that, I literally cannot afford to just give away everything that's given to me to use as essentially to promote this channel, to make YouTube videos for you. So the way I can really kind of recoup some of the monies that are paid back for taxes and things like that is to sell those products if I'm done with them, right? In the case of the Rad Rover, is my own personal thing, and as far as giving away to give it to somebody else, personally for my own thing, and again you could agree or disagree, I would much rather sell that bike, and if I wasn't going to give something away, I would probably donate that money to my church or something like that, right? So I appreciate what you're saying, but have to realize in my situation currently, based on my income level as a non-employed person, other than being a YouTuber, I really can't afford to do that. So, but sit tight. There's going to be some giveaways going on, but they're not going to be an e-bike. I'm going to tell you that right now. So okay, stick with me. I hope that didn't offend some people, that the fact that I'm not giving away big expensive things, but yeah, it's just too much money to give away at this point. I need that money. Russ is right, but Russ is cheap. I told you that. But there's a reason for that, being that. But yeah, I'm not working. I think if I was working and I was making $150,000 of income from something else, and then I was doing YouTube on the side, and I have a lot of money to be able to do it, then giving away a bike that's worth, maybe at this point, maybe say $1,000 to $1,200. Yeah, I probably wouldn't think much about it. But yeah, I'm not working. I'm just doing YouTube, so I need that money too. So all right. Let's move on. Mark Martinez. Yes, shamed by my so-called friends. His friends have shamed him. I've been riding bikes every year of my life since age 5. I turned 60 next week, so I bought an e-bike in November, knowing that I'll hit the road in the spring, as I live in Chicago. Okay, he's a local guy for me. I'm in the suburbs of Chicago. The amount of negative comments from just people I know is surprising. I just wanted to be able to ride longer. Sheesh. Yeah, there was a comment after too from Brent and Gina's RV traveling adventures. Well, we're your age and about to start doing it. I don't give a flip what others think, and wanted you to know that there are others out there doing the same. Yeah, well, the thing is, if your friends are shaming you, it's just jealousy, in my opinion. Yeah, maybe they can't afford an e-bike, so they can make fun of you about it. I don't know what their situation is, but yeah, your friends shouldn't be shaming you, quite frankly. But yeah, they do it. They do it. All right, next one. Gen Z 2008. Which navigation tool app has worked best for you? Thanks. I don't actually use an actual navigation tool anymore. I've tried Bike Map. I've tried Komoot, but I never paid for them. I just used their free service. And of course, that limits its capabilities. So I just use Apple CarPlay in my car, and I use the Apple Maps in my bike. And then I just tell the Apple Maps that I'm on a bike, and so it'll pick the route best for a bike. And I think they use the knowledge of certain streets have been designated as a bike route. I think they use that to map it out for you. So they try to pick you the best route to take, that it's not heavy traffic. But sometimes they do put you on heavy traffic, so you can't guarantee it. But I don't use these other ones that actually track you, and you can say I have rode 15 miles this day, and then it tells you where you went and everything. To me, it's kind of like invading my privacy a little bit. I don't want to be tracked and traced that way, so that's why I don't use any of those things at all. Some people like it. I just don't. I just want to be able to get from point A to point B and give me the best route. And so even like Google Maps or Apple Maps will do that for me. So that's what I use. Okay. Eric Mundsinger. Russ, you can purchase a brand new Rad 5 or 1 for under 100 miles on the odometer for around $1,200 on the marketplace or eBay. I'd say a fair price for yours would be well under $1,000. Yeah, okay, maybe. I did comment on that one because I saw that comment come in on my cell phone. I wasn't watching any of your other comments from other people, except for that one happened to come in. I kind of noticed because it said Rad 5. So I read it, and I responded back to him. But I said, yeah, I have an upgraded battery, I have rear rack, front basket, all that stuff. But he says, I know how hard you've worked to build your channel and excellent content, and you have loyal subscribers. As an act of goodwill, I would set up a raffle and give your Rad away for free. You now own several e-bikes, and that has all been given to you free of charge. Just a thought. Let me move this mic a little closer here. We already kind of commented on that. Yeah, it's not free, right? Everyone always thinks it's free. We got taxes to pay. So no, I'm not giving anything away. And I bought that bike. It wasn't given to me. But you could always say you've gotten all these other bikes for free. But no, it's payment for my work as a YouTuber. And I view it that way. And when I finally do sell off the bike, that's income that I can use for supporting my family. So yeah, I don't do it. Sorry. All right, next one. I mean, it makes you look real good if you give things away, but I'm not rich enough to be able to do that. All right. Pepe Ren Corel? Pepe Ren Corel. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Russ, when you say that you're getting new e-bikes, does the manufacturer send you these bikes for free so that you can review them? They're yours to keep? Thank you. Yes, they're mine to keep. Dropping my keyboard there. Yeah, when they send me a bike, it's mine to keep, and they don't charge me for the bike. But in exchange, I have to do work for them. And the work that I do is to make a video review of the bike. Some of them will ask you for 2 videos, 3 videos, 1 video, whatever the requirement is for them to send you that bike. So it is in payment for the work. It does take time to put the videos together. It does take effort. And it takes a while to just build an audience, quite frankly. So when people think it's stuff that's given to you for free, it's given. I like to view it as it's given to you in payment for the work that you do as a YouTuber. So yeah, things aren't free. People always think things are free, but everything comes at a cost, right? Let me say one more thing. People have asked me why don't I don't use a drone. Okay, well, first off, some of the areas I ride by have high tension wires, so I don't want to get electrocuted with a drone. Or there's trees in the way, okay? Because some of the areas have, forest preserves, have trees and stuff. So the drone makes it kind of tough for me to do in my general area because I'm not out in the country somewhere, all right? Secondly, people have been turned in for using a drone on a commercial basis. Now you may say, well, it's just YouTube. Well, technically, if you're making money on YouTube, that's a commercial basis. I know of one YouTuber, the husband and the wife got contacted by the FAA for not having a commercial license for using their drone to do their travel channel. Okay, and they forced him to actually take the licensing just so that he can use his drone to show the travel. Now, a travel channel, it would make sense that you use a drone so you can see the area, but he was forced to do it because legally he's making money doing it. I used to do photography, and a lot of people were using drones for photography for selling houses and stuff like that. Yeah, technically you need a commercial license for that. Now, if nobody finds out about it, that's fine. But if they find out about it, yeah, you can get in big trouble. Or even in the wedding industry, as you know, I shot a lot of weddings because I was a professional photographer as well. If you don't have a commercial license and you use a drone and you're just selling your services, that's commercial use. So yeah, I can't use a drone for that. So, all right, let me stop the camera and we'll start again. Sit tight. Okay, I'm back. All right, let's go on to the next one here. Yeah, it's quite a few comments here, man. I'm just working through them, trying my best. This one's kind of a long comment. Might be kind of hard for me to read it off to you guys. Let's just read the first paragraph. Let's see what it says. This is from Alterna22. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I think I've had 3 occurrences of cheater, and it seemed like all of them were in good humor. I usually laugh and say not racing. I'm sort of waiting for the opportunity to say you're cheating too, and when they look at me funny, I'll look at their bike and say gears, aero, handlebars, carbon fiber. It's all made to cheat and give you an advantage that original bikes didn't have. Then I'll ride away smugly. Once I did have a spandex-clad roadie glare daggers at me when I approached to help him with a breakdown. He looked down his nose like he smelled poop, proceeded to say it wasn't likely I could help him with anything. But hey, if he wants to turn away a former bike builder with tools and stay stranded on the side of the road, fine by me. I'm not the one still trying to prove my manhood. Okay, he's got, it's a little bit longer, so I'm not going to read all of it, but yeah, he's trying to help somebody and they're looking down on him. Yeah, it's just individuals have issues. They do. What can you say? All right, next one. All right, Niman your wingy. Am I pronouncing that right? Yeah, from the last couple of videos. Yeah, I don't know if I pronounce his name right or not, but that's what it says. I have not had anybody say anything negative besides a literal crazy person who's back off the streets now. Okay, a crazy person said something. The closest anyone ever else comes is to ask if the EUC is dangerous. Nobody has ever said anything bad about the Engwe or me while riding it. I'm in the younger demographic, so it may be a question of what they think they can get away with. But most people are very positive about PEVs, and to the extent they say something, they want to know if it's worth them buying. Yeah, I get a lot of people asking me about my e-bike. Some will say negative things, but most people are just curious. Yeah. So yeah, it could be your demographic too. Maybe because you're younger or something, they don't say as much, but I don't know. Thomas H. Question: have you considered doing a mid-drive conversion kit, like a Bafang 750 watt BBSO2 or 1000 watt BBSHD? No, I've never really considered converting an e-bike. First off, I have a lot of e-bikes that are given to me from manufacturers, so I've always kind of figured, why put the effort to try to build my own? That's one reason. Second reason is I never really knew which things are best to put on a smaller type bike frame, and some bike manufacturers have even said it's best not to do it because the beefier construction of the bike frames and the things that are on e-bikes are designed that way because you're going a lot faster than what a original bike was designed for. So like if you had a mountain bike and you wanted to put a motor on it, the manufacturers will say that bike was not designed to go 28 plus miles an hour. Okay, and so it's more dangerous if you didn't have a beefier bike frame for that purpose. So some of that I kind of believe, some of it I don't. But no, I've never had an inkling to put one together because at this point, manufacturers are giving me bikes to do reviews, so I've never really seen the reason to build my own. All right. Okay, next one. Robert Brooks, looking to start a live Zoom e-bike riding channel. Oh, okay. This is where I choose a time and date, maybe every day, to ride with people who don't have anyone to ride with them. And this way you can have company while you ride. Anyway, what's your thought on that? A live Zoom e-bike riding channel. I don't know how that would work. I mean, you can do a Zoom off of your phone, obviously, and I guess all it would be people listening to other people talking while they're riding, because really you can't concentrate on watching the ride while you're riding. Now, some people have said to me that they actually watch Russ's ride while riding their bike because I kind of keep them company. So in other words, they're really not watching me, they're listening to me, right? And really, if you look at some of my riding videos, you're not watching me anyways, you're kind of watching the scenery go by as I'm describing things about the either bikes or about the area or whatever we're talking about for that time. So yeah, people will do that. They do it for me at this point. We don't have a one-on-one conversation because it's a YouTube video, but people have turned on Russ's Right while riding their own bike because I kind of keep them company. So if you're doing it for that purpose, your live Zoom thing for that purpose, so that people can kind of talk to each other while they're riding their bike, that's one thing. And there might be people interested in that because they're doing that with me. But this way you would be able to talk back to them. So I don't know if this would be a service that you charge or something that you're doing for free. I don't know. But it could work. Yeah, as long as people realize that they're really not watching you ride, they're just listening to you, right? course, a telephone call would do the same thing at that point. All right, so good luck. If you do it, let me know if it works out for you. E-Bike Reviews comes back again and says, have you considered organizing a group ride? Yeah, we talked about this before once. Yeah, I never really thought about it because I've always ridden by myself. The most I've ridden with is my wife, something like that. But even with my wife, we don't really talk to each other while we ride. I make a video while she's riding behind me. So whether she was there or not, it wouldn't really make that much difference, right? In fact, I find that I slow down more just to keep my eye to see if she's still behind me. So I'm always looking at the side view mirror just to see if she's back there. So a group ride might be kind of tough for me. Plus, I always kind of thought that, we kind of ride at different paces. I ride a little fast. Some people ride a little slow. It could slow me down. I may not be too happy, or I might be too slow for somebody else, right? So no, I never really thought about it as far as, doing some type of group ride. And besides that, I'm always worried about liabilities and stuff like that. If somebody got hurt during a group ride, who's liable for that? So I've not really considered that. Okay. All right. Thank you for your question. Paul Ketchum says, question, what are your plans for the Magicycle Deer in terms of accessories, second battery, bussy woods, giddy up saddle, primary bike, etc.? Comment, I haven't been shamed yet. Always had positive feedback. I get stopped by people asking questions, how much, how fast, battery range, they love the bike, a lot of hand waves and smiles, etc. I've met some great people out on the road, but I'm also aware that there are condescending, entitled blankety blank blanks everywhere trying to ruin your day on a bike, and I'm ready for them. Okay, let me answer the first question. What are my plans with the Magicycle Deer? What have I planned to put on it? I think I'm going to change out the saddle. I originally thought I would just leave the saddle that comes with the Deer on the bike, but I've noticed that there's a flat part to that saddle. It's kind of because you're bouncing a little bit with the soft tail, the suspension in the back. That flat section of that saddle, I tend to slide a little bit on it. I kind of feel like I'm going to slide off of this thing sometimes. So I think I'm going to change it to one of the Bikeroo saddles that I have. Not specifically that would be the saddle that I plan to put on everything, because the Bikeroos that I bought were kind of stiff. They weren't as soft as my original ones, but I have extra ones. So I'm going to put that on there and hope that it doesn't help, that'll help me from sliding a little bit as I'm bouncing a little bit from the rear suspension. So it may be okay with some people using the original Magicycle saddle, but at least for my butt, the Bikeroo fits better for me, and I think it would probably keep me from slipping a little bit. So that's one thing. I did put a side mirror on the left-hand side. I do have a cell phone mount on it. I will probably put the rear rack once it comes in. I do have a front basket for it, as I do on most of my bikes. So I'll put a front basket, I'll put a rear rack. I do have the fenders on it. I will put cell phone mount on it, a left-hand side mirror, and probably a secondary light on it, because as you know, I have handlebar mounted lights that blink, so I usually like that. So I'll probably put that on when I'm riding that bike as well. And the rear rack will have a tail light on it, so you don't get the tail light on the Deer unless you buy the rack. So there's an option to buy a package that allows you to have the rear rack, tail light, and fenders. It's only like $50 more for that. If you don't pay the $50, then you don't get those items. So to me, it's worth paying the extra $50 and getting those extra items. So as far as his comment about people out there being nice, yeah, a lot of people just have curiosity about our bikes. So sometimes you'll get stopped for that. How's my time? Oh, okay, I got time. The numbers are very small on the camera, so it's hard to tell. Mustang says, if someone told me I couldn't ride a bike because of my size, I would tell them to mind their own business and get down the road, and if they didn't, I may just sit on them. All right, I'm assuming Mustang is a little bit heavy. Yeah, you got to have a sense of humor, quite frankly. Sometimes having the sense of humor will diffuse a lot of the problem. Yeah, so yeah, good for you. Eric Budsinger again. He says, You might be safer riding bikes than walking. I tripped on a curb while walking last summer, and the knuckles on my left hands are still sore. Sorry about that, but yeah, sometimes you are safer on the bike. Yeah, sometimes you're not. Be careful out there. Thanks for your comment. Rhonda Perkins. Rhonda Perkins says, I mostly get stares of jealousy and admiration. If it's anything, they want my bike. Well, good for you. The jealousy is real. I think sometimes people see it, and then that's what triggers them to make bad comments sometimes. Amy Malay, she says, I have a Townie Go 7D, and you can't tell it's a pedal assist bike without really looking at it. I will say that I have a bike throttle. I would say I have e-bike throttle bike people as the zip past me. Somewhere in the typing, I'm losing something there. I was fat shamed at a Trek dealer. They told me they didn't have any bikes that would hold me. I went to another dealer and bought what I wanted and have put around 700 miles on it since August. And I am in the market for a better bike and would never buy from the first store. Yeah, you probably were fat shamed then, if that's the case, because there are bikes available that'll handle. I mean, I don't know how much you weigh, but maybe they didn't have an inventory that will handle that. But the way they put it probably was not flattering. Being a heavier person myself, I know what you're saying. Okay, because there's things that I can't do. Like for instance, if I'm at a clothing store or something like that, and people are looking at clothes, and my wife might say, "Hey, check out to see if they have any clothes that'll fit." I'll just say, "They're not gonna have anything that fits me." So there's issues with being overweight. But yeah, for a dealer to come out and say that, that's not fun. Yeah, it's not nice either. Maybe they could have said something a little bit better. They could have maybe said something like, there are bikes available. Unfortunately, we don't have any at the moment that fits your size, or something like that. I don't know what the best way to say it, but they probably could have said it better. So, but I'm glad you found something that fits you. And if you're looking for other bikes, like I said before, there are many bikes that will hold now at least 400 pounds. So unless you're bigger than that, there's many bikes now available for you. Okay. All right. Thank you for your question and comment. Joey Joe Jr. Joey Joe Joe Jr. Yeah, we had him on the last videos about the questions. Yeah, I like that name, Joey Joe Joe Jr. Whenever I pass a snobby regular bike rider, I always have the urge to turn my head and give out a Pee Wee Herman laugh. How's it go? Does it go like that? Yeah, you have to have a sense of humor and just laugh at them. All right. JH338117. Russ, all those voices I hear about shaming me is the devil. He doesn't want you to be happy or enjoying your ride. His goal is to stop you from riding and be miserable. So I say, forget the devil and keep riding. Yep. Forget them. Just keep moving on. Cheryl Newell says, there is another thing when I was younger and had a regular bike. At some point when I was 7 gears, when the 7 gears came out, they called that cheating. Yeah. You have single speed bikes. You have multiple speed bikes. Is multiple speed bikes cheating? Or is it helping? Right? Yeah, the more gears you have, it's probably helping. You have, there used to be like 21 gears, 28 gear bikes. Yeah, you had your chainring would have multiple sprocket sizes, right? And then you have like 7 in the back. If you have 3 in the front, 7 in the back, you got 21 gears. Some of them are kind of similar. The gear ratios are kind of similar. So really, I think the manufacturers have finally figured out that, even at least for an e-bike, do you really need anything past 7 or 8 gears? Yeah, maybe not. So, when they came out, was that called cheating? Good question. Gregory Olaf, I'm sorry. Yes, a few times, a few people had negative comments about my electric XP, but by far, more people had very positive comments or asked a lot of questions about e-bikes. I tried to be a positive ambassador for e-bikes. Good for you. Yeah. The more positive people we have explaining the e-bikes, the more people will be on e-bikes. Let me make a quick comment on that. All right. I've had a selfish wish that e-bikes don't move out as fast as everyone says that they hope more people are on e-bikes. That's a selfish wish, and here's why. The more people on the e-bikes means less space for me to ride. Sorry. Yeah, I don't like a crowded bike path, quite frankly. I mean, I see stuff that, there's a lot of people in China riding bikes, but I wouldn't want to ride in China. With that many people on the street riding the bikes, it wouldn't be as much fun, is what I'm saying. So selfishly, part of me says, I hope there isn't a ton of people out there while I'm riding. Sometimes I don't even ride on the weekends. Like last year, I didn't ride too much on the weekends because if I go on a bike path, there's just too many people in my way. So I tended to ride on the streets on the weekends rather than the bike paths because a lot of those guys don't want to be on the street, but I can. So selfishly, I don't want to share that bike path with a ton of people. So there's another end of things, right? Another way of looking at it. So, all right, let's see who else we have here. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I had to pull the camera off the tripod, so if everything doesn't line up properly or sound the same, sorry. Joe Rossillo says, I am fat, but never been shamed over that. Have been told in the past by passing by, no motorbikes allowed on the bike paths. I don't respond to them. I just ignore them. They don't know what they don't know what they're talking about. Once I was stopped because a couple older gals were yapping and inadvertently blocking the way across the narrow bridge. They nicely suggested that I was cheating. I told them that I pedaled all the time and felt that I was doing well for a 77-year-old person last year. With a bad knee and a hip, and also a heart patient. They kind of agreed with that. My message is, you're not shamed if you don't feel shamed. If you don't care about their thoughts over your own feelings, you're on the right track. Yeah, sometimes you, if you have issues, sometimes having that bike does help you more than not. So, but people don't know that. Rodney Bosco says, I've only had one comment lobbed my way so far about how much exercise I must be getting on that pretty e-bike, but it was from a smart blank high schooler. So e-bikes are still considered a novelty by most folks, and some just can't overcome their ignorance of other people's different circumstances. So we have to be thick-skinned about it. Easy for me to say. I wanted to stop and push the little I won't comment. Push the little people over, little blankety blanks over the bridge he was leaning against. But I decided to be the bigger person. I too would like you to test ride a trike, specifically the new electric. Yeah, I would too. Then let's see what kind of comments you receive on the trails. I think these, like I mentioned, Rad Power Bikes might be able to allow me to try one of their bikes, but I think it would be hard to get the electric to try out, and being able to take that Rad bike to the trails would be kind of tough. I think they only let you ride around their parking lot area or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll try one if I can, and then I'll report back to see how that is. All right, let me do this. We have several more here, but I don't want you guys waiting forever here because I know that I mentioned that we're going to do a giveaway thing. Okay, let me leave it at this point. So let me tell you how we're going to do this. Now, one of the manufacturers who I did a review for has graciously said that they would give away 2 free items because we had turned over 13,000 subscribers now. So the last time we did some type of giveaway, I was at 10,000 subscribers, and Magicycle graciously gave us a number of e-bike mirrors to give away. And so a number of you guys, I don't know how many did they give me? Was it 30? It was a lot, right? But X Needle Helmets has graciously said we'd like to give a couple helmets away for your subscribers for hitting 13,000. So, yeah, if you want to win an X Needle helmet, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Okay. Now, we're trying to keep it away from the scammers because the minute you mention contest, giveaway, or something like that, they come out of the woodwork. So I waited to be able to say it in the video. So if people miss this, well, that's just too bad because you didn't see the video up to this point. So if you've watched this far, you have an opportunity to get something. So here's what I want you to do. If you're interested in receiving a free X Needle helmet from this giveaway, there's only 2 to give away, by the way. Just put a comment in today's video. Okay, the video will come out on Valentine's Day, so February 14th. And then I'll stop it at the end of February 15th. Okay, so give the people up to that point to watch this video. And then I'll do a drawing. And then whoever the 2 people are, I'll ask you to contact X Needle. I'll give X Needle your name, and then you can claim your prize at that point. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. If you want to enter, here's all you have to do. Make a comment in today's video, but don't say anything about the giveaway. Okay. Just say, Happy Valentine's Day, Russ. Okay. Just put down Happy Valentine's Day, Russ. If you do that, I'll know that you want to be entered into the potential drawing. Okay. So then, after we collect all the names, I'm going to put it in one of these internet spinning things. It's like a Wheel of Fortune thing. Okay, put all your names in there, and then we'll click the button, and I'll record it so that you can see. Okay, and then it'll randomly pick the winner, and we'll do it twice. So then those 2 winners will be able to get the X Needle helmet. So if you win it, okay, because all we have is screen names here. We don't have your real name or whatever. And X Needle will need to know who the real people are to give it to. What I want you to do then at that point is send me an email at that point at contactrussisright@gmail.com. Okay, not russisright@gmail.com. Okay, I don't get that. It goes to somebody else if you do that. It's a long one. It's called contactrussisright@gmail.com. Okay. If you send me an email there, tell me you won, tell me your screen name, and give me your real name, okay? And then at that point, I'll go ahead and contact X Needle and say expect to hear from these people. And then I'll give you the phone number or email address or whatever they ask me to do. And then you can contact them directly and then give them your contact information, and then they can send it to you, okay? All right, so do that, all right? That's the giveaway. Keep going. We got more stuff here. Brent and Gina's RV traveling adventures. Question at the end. I have 2 Vitalan U7 e-bikes for the wife and I. That's actually the wife and me. You got to correct your English there. Everyone says somebody and I. That only works on certain sentences, but in this case, I believe it should be my wife and me. Because if you take your wife out of it, it would say, I have an e-bike for me. So when you add your wife to it, it should be my wife and me. Okay, so wife and I comes into a different play when you use it in different sentence structure. It's a little pet peeve of mine. But everyone's been using I for everything. But it's not correct. Sorry. That's just me. I got a little pet peeve with that. Okay. So he says, we are both right at 60, so the step through should help us a good bit. We haven't been on them yet riding, but will as soon as the weather permits and we get more familiar with them in the house. I don't want her to fall as she's had back surgery twice. We're going to use them in our RV travels and also likely around this area. I will video our travels and I'll video a ride or 2 as well. We like rewatching the videos when we are home. I did a video of unboxing, adding accessories already. The videos especially help motivate us because you're older too with limited. Your videos help motivate us because you're older and too and you have limited mobility. It means a lot that you speak to our age and size. So my question after all this is, related to your video quality, mentioning that you shoot in 4K. It's excellent quality. What mounts or mounts do you use on the bike riding and static shooting? What camera? What's your camera settings for both? Thanks, buddy. Yeah, everyone always asks me about what camera I uses and how I set it up. It's too much to get involved with that. I did have a video that talked about what I do with my cameras, but to answer quickly here, I use a GoPro Hero 10. They are now currently on Hero 11. I don't see any real reason for me to upgrade to the 11 because essentially we'll do exactly the same what I'm doing right now. But I use a chest mount that I bought on Amazon. I didn't buy the GoPro version, but this is the same thing. I have a chest mount. I have the camera mounted to my chest. I have a microphone that's attached to my X-Needle helmet. So it's usually right dead center in front of my face. I literally see this thing all the time because it's right between my eyeballs, okay? So I have a lavalier mic there with a windscreen on it, and it's kind of I kind of wrap it through the openings of the helmet so that the cable comes out through the side and the back, and then that's connected to a transformer, which is then connected to a digital audio recorder made by Zoom. It's the H4n, which is an older model. They have newer versions of that now. But the lavalier microphone is a what is it? It's a microphone that requires a 48-volt phantom power. So it needs a transformer. So I have a Shure transformer that the microphone plugs into, and then that transformer goes to an XLR cable, which then plugs into the digital audio recorder. So it's a lot of connection points. And then I use the camera's audio from the microphone that's built into the camera. It records an audio, but of course a lot worse than the lavalier microphone, which is right in front of my face there. And then I synchronize the two together so that you get the mic, the audio from the digital audio recorder to synchronize with the mouth. So everything automatically synchronizes, and I use the Apple Final Cut Pro to do my editing, so it automatically connects all that for me. So that's basically how I do it. And I bought the Insta360 X3 camera, which is a 360-degree camera. I use that for when I'm shooting me riding. If you see me riding and you see me, pedaling, I use that camera to show that view, and I use the GoPro to show the forward view. Okay. All right. Oh, what are my settings? 4K. I shoot in 4K. The 1080p. The X3, when you use the forward view of it after you edit it, it comes down to almost like 1080p. So the GoPro has better image quality in general than the X3 from 360, Insta360. Even though Insta360 claims, I think they claim like a 5-point-something K video, that's for 360 degrees. If you take out the 360 degrees and just look forward, it's a lower resolution than the GoPro. So in general, the GoPro has a sharper looking image. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're coming down to the end pretty soon here. Southern e-biking. He says, I think in every aspect of life, some people are going to be bullies. You're telling me. Shaming someone for anything is just another example of this. We learned a long time ago that 3 ways to handle it. Number 1, ignore the comment. This is generally will be discontinued any further. Yeah, just ignore them. Second, confront them. This usually will back them away in a hurry, but may require more. Only do this if you're willing. And number 3, which is unpreferred in my opinion, is to let it get to you. This generally goes. This generally is going to encourage the bully to continue. Yeah, if you, I think they like it when they can get under your skin. Excuse me a second. Drop the mouse. Yeah, if you just let them get to you, they're gonna enjoy that more. Right? So yeah, best not to. Mr. RBT Gold. Says, hello, Russ. In my 3 years of e-biking, I received the cheater comment only once, and I laughed it off. Usually people are curious about the bike and ask questions. Anyway, I enjoy your videos. Oh, yes. Which trail was that video taken? I live in southeastern Wisconsin and are always looking for new trails. Thanks in advance. I don't remember which background I was using. It's in the northern suburbs of Chicago. I don't know exactly which. I don't have it up and running, so I can't really answer your question. But I'm up in the northern suburbs of Chicago, so it's available. If you use like what is the name of that app? I'm reaching over here. If you use this app here, let me see here. Bike Trails or All Trails. If you use All Trails app, it'll tell you the various trails that are around the areas where you are, or for any other areas that you're looking for. So, yeah, take a look at that, and that will give you names of trails and things like that to find. So, all right, Tom. Yeah, we're almost done here. Tom says, yeah, I commute on an e-bike. Bad knee, so the assist is nice to get going. People have scoffed, but I just answer, it's always more exercise than driving. That's true. And that I have lost weight has silenced them, and even said, two of them even said that they want an e-bike now. Yeah, that's good. Aspire to cycling adventures. Yes, was shamed once on the Rad Rover 6 Plus, but now that I'm riding an acoustical bike, okay, we're going to talk about that, a Trek Farley 9.6, I think any bike is fine and wish more people would start riding. Russ, would you ever consider a high-end bike? Yes, I know they're very expensive. After test riding a Trek Fuel EXC 9.7, I can't ride an e-bike that weighs over 80 pounds. My plan is to order a Trek Fuel EXC 9.9 next year. Yeah, not excited about the price, over $10,000. That's expensive. Yeah. All right, let me make a couple comments here. How much time do we have here? Yeah, let me stop the video again. Start it right back up. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. All right, I have a couple comments on this one. Okay, first off, acoustical bike. I've made comments on this before. I don't like that term, and here's why. And I know how the term came about, okay? If you play an electric guitar and you don't plug it in and you play a guitar that doesn't plug in, what is that guitar called? It's called an acoustic guitar. So people started using the term acoustical bike because they said, well, if you have an electronic bike or electric bike, you have an electric guitar. If an acoustic guitar is related to an electric guitar, then an acoustic bike would be related to an electric bike, right? Wrong. Look up the word acoustic and find out what the acoustics actually means. Acoustics means auditory things, right? Like I'm in an acoustic chamber, meaning that it has to do with sound, right? So an acoustic guitar is essentially a guitar that does not plug in like an electric guitar, but it has to do with sound because it's a guitar. So the term acoustic guitar comes from that. But to use the term acoustic bike to relate to an electric bike does not make any sense at all, right? But this term has been pushed around so much now that a lot of people feel that that is the correct term to use for a non-electric bike. So what do you call a non-electric bike? Well, I call it a non-electric bike, or you can call it a traditional bike or traditional non-electric bike. I think that's probably more accurate than to use the term acoustical bike or acoustic bike. It's just me. I probably will never be able to change people's opinion on it, but it gets to me when I hear that. And part of it's because I do play guitar, and I am a forensic audio expert, right? I am a chord expert in forensics. So in terms of acoustic stuff, audio type of stuff, it was actually my first court qualification. So I am a forensic audio expert in court. Yeah, I'm court qualified. So, Okay, that's the first thing. Now, as far as your question about a high end bike, yeah, I don't know whether anyone will ever give me a bike like that, but I will definitely not buy one that expensive. Yeah, I don't have the kind of money. I can't afford to do it. Okay, I can afford to do it. If I wanted to do it, I can do it. But will I realistically do it? And the answer is no. I have other things I could spend $10,000 on. And think about it too. With the quantity of bikes that I currently have, I don't really need one that is that expensive, quite frankly. But we do have an expensive one coming. I mentioned that recently. That by the time I customized everything and put everything in there, we were approaching 6,000. It was actually closer to 5,500 in that range, but then you have shipping costs and stuff like that, so about $5,700, something like that, with the shipping, whatever. But yeah, I'm not paying for any of that because the manufacturer is giving me the bike for review. So that is coming probably in a couple weeks, I would think. I think I announced it last week, so they told me about 2 to 3 weeks it'll take for them to customize it. So I know a number of you have been asking me, what is this bike? And I asked the manufacturer, what do you think about, mentioning things or showing things in advance before the bike comes in? They said that's perfectly fine. So I will mention what bike that is, okay? So for those who have waited this long and watched so far, this is another benefit you have for watching so long. Okay, so let me say this. It's from Electric Bike Company. Now, Pedro Fernandez guessed it on the very first comment. I think most of the people that have looked around different bikes, the minute I mentioned it's going to be costly and it's going to be customized, that's a dead giveaway. That's Electric Bike Company. Yeah. They may be, I'm not positive, but they may be the only bike manufacturer here in the United States that actually builds the bikes here in the U.S. All right. So that's going to cost some money. Okay. I mean, it's U.S. built. Come on. It's U.S. built of foreign materials. Because, nobody manufactures everything themselves today. I mean, I don't care what product it is. They're usually buying something from somewhere. And a lot of bike frames come from China or from Taiwan. And other parts come from China, Japan, Taiwan, Indonesia, wherever. So all of their parts come from international sources, and then they will customize and build the bike here in the United States. So it's not something that's already pre-built. They're actually building it at their location in California. So they are customizing this bike for me. So I put a lot of stuff on this bike, stuff that I said I would love to have something like this. So they're custom painting it for me. They're putting specialized parts on there for me. My range, my stated range for this bike is going to be 200 miles. So I'm excited for that. Now, we know that it only happens when it's ideal riding conditions, and if you weigh a certain amount. Well, I weigh a lot, so even if the 200 miles was only half of their stated, that's 100 miles. I know it's going to be more than 100 miles, though. But yeah, I've got essentially 3 batteries on that bike. So in that sense, is that considered a high-end bike? If you bought that bike and didn't put all the stuff that I put on it, I think the bike is probably around the $2,300, $2,400 price range. It's not unreasonable. But when you put everything that I stuck on that bike on it, yeah, it starts bringing up the price. Now, your bike sounds like more of a performance type bike, right? So I would love to be able to try one of those type of things, but I don't see a manufacturer giving me something that expensive, and I'm just too cheap to be able to afford one. So I don't see myself buying one that expensive, quite frankly. These less expensive bikes, they do well for me. I'm sure that I'm missing out on the more expensive, better, high performance bikes, but realistically, I can't afford to do it. I know a lot of people can't either. Even this one coming in from Electric Bike Company, I think a lot of people will say, wow, that's more money than I could afford to do. That's okay. I mean, you don't have to spec it out the way I did. You can get the basic version of that bike, and it'll do perfectly fine for you. And it's within range that most people would say, yeah, that's doable, right? I used to feel $1,500 was the average bike price. I think it's coming more closer to $2,000 for many people now because they want to get some better parts on there. Maybe it's their second bike, so they're kind of upgrading to something a little bit better. So, if their bike was like $2,300, it's not that far off from 2,000. So in my mind, many of our subscribers and viewers would consider the bike from Electric Bike Company. But based on the stuff that I put on it, I wanted to be able to take that farther than I have ever taken another bike. And so to do that, I requested customizing of the battery options on there. And so the range is going to be a lot better. And there's some custom things on there that I think you would like to see. So I'm excited to get it. Quite frankly, I'm very glad that they offered one to me. And they didn't say no. When I told them I want this, and this, can I get it? They said get the bike that fits you best. And quite frankly, the range is the biggest thing for me. I always like going farther. And so when I saw what their bike is able to do, I said, yeah, this would be a bike I would be really happy to get. So keep your eyes open for that bike. It's coming soon, okay? All right, we're almost done. We just got a couple more here. Mary Hamilton says, hi, Russ. Love the channel. I would like you to comment on all of your accessories on your handlebars. I am new to e-bikes, but not bicycles. Just curious what your essentials are. Keep up the great work. Okay, if you look at any of my videos, you'll see there's an accessories list in the description of the video, okay? And in there, you'll see the various items that I recommend people consider, all right? Not that I have it on every single bike. I mean, I have too many bikes to put everything on there, but the things that I think are necessary to have on your handlebars is, I'm looking at the bikes that are sitting to the side here. Cell phone mount, okay? If you need GPS, mapping and stuff like that, or just guidance, you're gonna need a cell phone mount. You might need a handlebar extender because there's not a whole lot of room on the handlebar. So the handlebar extender allows you to add more accessories on that extender bar. I usually put at least a left-handed mirror. So I have a side view mirror because, if you're riding on the street, you want to know if the cars are coming. You need a mirror to do that. Some people put the little monitors now, electronic monitors. So you have like a television screen on your handlebar so you can see it behind you. It's more extravagant to do it that way. I'm still more old school. I like using a mirror. Okay, I use a thumb throttle on all of my bikes. So even if I have a twist throttle, I use a 3D printed thumb throttle, and I have it printed at a local library who does it basically for free. They just charge you the cost of the materials. So the thumb throttle costs me about 50 cents. Every time I have one made. And then there's screws and nuts, one screw and one nut that you have to get. And I usually get that at my local Menards, which is a hardware store. But then I eventually said, I order so many of these things. I actually went on AliExpress, which is in China, and I ordered a whole bunch of screws and nuts for that thumb throttle, which cost me less on the long run than it is to buy them individually at Menards, okay? So I usually have a front basket on my bikes if they have an option, and I always have a rear rack if they have that option, and all of my bikes have fenders. Yeah. So I think that's really the necessity things that I think. I'm looking. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I do have like a Bluetooth speaker on one of my Rad Rover 5, but I haven't used that in so long. I bought it when I first got the bike, but once I started doing the videos, I said, I can't run anything. I'm talking. I'm doing the videos, so I haven't used it in a long time. Some people like, hearing music when they're riding, but don't play it real loud and bother people. So I keep it soft, okay? Hopefully that'll help you. Just look at the description of any of my videos, and you'll see the list there. All right. How many more do we have? Gee whiz, this thing keeps going. I'm sorry this has been such a long video, too, but I'd rather just do it all in one video, and rather than doing two separate ones. We did two separate ones last time, but I don't know how much more we're going to do with this because, I asked for it and there's just so much that comes through, but I appreciate you if you've watched and continue watching. Sometimes it turns people off. They don't want to see that, that it's so long. They don't even start. All right. David Michel, Michehi, Micheli, maybe David Micheli. Question and answer. Have you ever had a battery catch fire, and do you keep your batteries in fireproof bags? I have never had the battery catch fire. Good thing. And I do keep some of the batteries in fireproof bags. Yeah, Magicycle gave me 2 of their fireproof bags, so I keep the extra Magicycle batteries in there. And during the wintertime, I don't leave the batteries out in the garage with the bikes. I have several bikes in the garage. Several of them are in the room that I'm sitting in right now. One of them's in the living room, and one of them's in the dining room. So, but the bikes that are in the garage, I take all those batteries out because it's too cold to be in the garage. And I store the Magicycle batteries, at least, inside the fireproof bags that the Magicycle has given me. So not all of the batteries are in fireproof bags. Many of them are still sitting on the bike right now. All right. But the bikes are sitting in the room with me right now too. So, all right. Mike Brazil. I've had 2 work friends make comments to me. The first was about how I was cheating on an e-bike and not getting the needed exercise for a guy my size. I am overweight. Yeah, we all are. The second was a different person who saw me at a light on our commute and thought to himself, who is this goofy guy? And then he realized it was me, and he got a good laugh. Both cases, I just laughed it off. This was my journey, and I'll do any way I please. I really enjoy riding and commuting to work on my Grizzly. Yeah, well, the thing is, people are always going to comment on stuff that they shouldn't be commenting on. Gary Wilhoit, yeah. I would like to see a rating system for each bike manufacturers, after sale customer support. You have addressed this with the companies you work with. I would really like your viewers to share their experiences, good and bad. Don't trust ratings on sales sites. Well, rating system for each bike manufacturer's after-sale customer support. Yeah, they're all terrible. Yeah, in various people's minds, they're terrible. No, I just say that in jest. Some of them are terrible, some of them are worse, some of them are better, some of them are good. All right, here's the thing. No matter how good or bad customer support is, in one person's mind, it's a great customer support. In another person's mind, the support is terrible. Depends on your situation, okay? For instance, I'll give you an example. And I'm only basing this on things I've read in various forums, whether it's Facebook forums or Facebook groups or some other type of bike forums. And you'll see people who make comments, they're usually negative comments, and that's what prompts them to write. Some of them won't even write a comment unless they have something negative to say, all right? They figure, well, if things are going well, what do I need to say anyway? But if something's not going well, they'll usually make a comment about that to either warn other people or just to get it off their chest, okay? So if you look at it that way, every bike manufacturer has negative comments, okay? So if you look at it like that, they're all terrible. So as far as rating system, well, first off, I can't do that, obviously, because I work with various manufacturers. If I rated them for you, some of the manufacturers would be upset that they're down on the list. And others would be happy that they're higher up on the list, right? So if you don't trust the ratings on sales sites, I tend to agree with that. If it's on their own website and they say, here's our reviews, how many of them put negative reviews? They all put, oh, this is the greatest bike in the world, right? Okay, a couple of them I have seen where people have commented and they didn't take it off and it just says, yeah, this is terrible, I would never buy this bike again. I've seen some of that, okay? But very rare do you see that. As far as getting an actual rating system from the viewers to share their experiences, I don't think I would encourage that, because some of the videos that we do are review videos, and I would hate to see that kind of comments on a video that I made specifically for that manufacturer's review. Now, if I don't like something, I will usually say, this is not really something that I really think is that great. But I haven't taken these bikes in that are really bad. Okay, the last video I mentioned that I had, I don't know how many bikes have I got, 14, 13, 14. I've had 14, 15, something like that. And I've sold some of the bikes as well, but I've turned down more than 18 plus. Well, I finally took a count of how many bikes I've actually physically turned down. We are now at 34. Yeah, it's not 18. It's a lot more than I thought. So I've taken in maybe 14 or 15 bikes and turned down about 34 of the bikes. So, and the reason I turned some of these down, like I mentioned before, is because maybe I don't trust the batteries that they use, or maybe I don't trust the manufacturer somehow, or I've never heard of it before, and I don't know what they're using, and I would feel bad if somebody bought that bike and had a problem with it. So you can't take everything in. People have said take it in and then sell it off. Well, that's why I don't even give bikes away, because if I was willing to do that, I could take in all these bad bikes and just give them to you. But I really feel bad doing that because I don't trust some of them. I just never heard of it before, or they don't have products that really excite me, right? So I just simply don't answer them, or I come right out. Like one manufacturer, I just said I need these type of items, and they weren't able to give it to me. They said it'll be coming, but I've heard that before, and it still never comes. So I said, unless it's complete, I don't want to do a review on it. So as far as rating their customer support, I could say, was that bad support? Well, it's not support. It's more on the marketing and sales end of things, but kind of gives me a kind of bad taste in my mouth when they don't have certain things that they should have had, in the first place. But I understand that manufacturers sometimes run out of product. Sometimes they're oversold, and maybe they don't even manufacture certain parts of it. They have to get it from the other companies so that they can put it on their bikes to be able to. So there's supply chain issues even for manufacturers of e-bikes. So, but to answer your question about sharing the things like that, I think it would just be the people who would comment would be the people who are upset. Yeah, the people who like it, they're either pro this brand or pro that brand. I don't trust that too much either, because they're so in love with the company that could you even trust that? So I don't think there's real benefit here for that, and I think it would just cause more problems for everybody if we were to open something like that up. So I hope you understand. I know why you would like that, but it doesn't help the industry in general, and it doesn't help me any. It would just be more people bickering on my site because of that. So I can't do that. Sorry. All right. We have a couple more here. Where are we at? Okay. I thought about this is the Captain 756. I thought about your question for some time as an old guy. Yeah, I'm an old guy too. I admire anyone in my age group, especially fat ones. Yeah, I'm there too. Who get out and ride or walk or whatever. Last riding session, which was short because I didn't get my e-bike until mid-June, I lost 10 pounds of chub. Hoping I can lose more in 2023. Otherwise, I've not been shamed about riding my e-bike, but rather it gets compliments on my bike. All we can do is be kind to others, which sometimes goes a long way for naysayers. Just be you. You are good and kind. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd rather people be kind too. I don't really like negative people. Richard Kearney says, I have never had any person fat shame me besides myself. Yeah, I fat shame myself too. Most people see me riding my e-bike. They're just curious about the bike and start asking me a bunch of questions about it. Surprising to me, the number one question is usually why 4-inch tires? Yeah, they kind of grab attention. If I respond with some fat-related answer like, so I don't pop the tire, they just laugh, and then give some serious answer, or I might even just ask the question back to them. What would you think of the advantage of a 4-inch tire would be over a 1.5-inch tire? It generally provokes a fun conversation with them. So as telling me I can't ride a bike because that has never happened to me. I have A lot of people, when I am talking to them about the bike, tell me that they can't ride an e-bike because of so many other reasons. I always enjoy those conversations, as it is interesting to me as to why someone thinks they can't ride an e-bike. Some are really good points, like afraid the car is going to hit them, or afraid that they're going to fall. We usually then talk about ways to ride an e-bike and not get hit by a car, i.e., riding only on trails. I think it's pretty easy to avoid getting hit by a car, but I never tell them they are not good enough to fall, because I don't believe that is possible. Yeah, I think everyone takes a fall eventually. If you've never taken a fall in your life, you've been very lucky. All right. All right. What else do we have here? Man, this thing just keeps going, man. Randy McGill says, "Hey Russ, thanks for meeting you yesterday. Thanks so much for the Rad Mini." Yeah, he bought my Rad Mini. So, yeah, this one actually doesn't relate to this particular question, but yeah, thank you for the purchase, Randy. I hope everything works out for you. Okay. All right, I'm back. Yeah, my camera actually shut down, so I had to turn it back on. Okay. Jay says, "My question is, have you ever considered going car light or car free? I've been using the car less and less ever since I got my e-bike a few years back. Now I use the car mainly to drop friends and family off at the airport and transport my e-bike to fun gravel trails. Perhaps it would be fun to do a week or two long challenge where you try and do most of your errands on e-bikes." Yeah, I can't do e-bike exclusively. There's places I go that I cannot take a bike. Like, for instance, you might know I play my guitar at my church, and I have a lot of equipment I have to transport. I could never transport all that stuff on an e-bike. First off, churches in a car, our church is probably like 25 minutes away by car. And then carrying an electric guitar or an acoustic guitar and all the accessory things that go along with it, the effects pedals and all that stuff, I would never be able to transport that much stuff on the e-bike. And especially at -2 degrees, I wouldn't be able to do it. Okay, but how about during the summer? No, I can't do it. It's too heavy. It's too big. And I don't leave my bike out, even locked, outside of a store, so I can go in and shop. When my wife and I go shopping and we use our e-bikes to do it, we'll ride together. I will watch the bikes while she's out in the store shopping. All right, we never leave the bikes alone. We never lock it and leave it. Okay, I'm always watching the two bikes while she shops. So as much as I would like to be able to say that I can go car free, realistically, I can't do it because it's just too difficult here in the Chicago area. All right. So, yeah, I don't know where you live, but yeah, it would be almost impossible for us to do it. So, yeah, never considered it because I can't do it. All right, next one. Marilyn B. "Hi, Russ. I've been called cheater once and my bike a cheater bike. Both were in good fun mostly. I told them it allows me to be outside and riding these Pennsylvania hills. I think I have a good response for someone who might again call me cheater. She'd say, 'Wait until you're my age and see how you think.' Being almost 73, most of my friends are very impressed that I get out and ride." Yeah, that's a good point. If you're of a certain age and you're still riding, we should be more celebrating that than looking down on that. I mean, for you to be able to do what you do at your ages that you are, people should be like more amazed at you than they are to look down on you. I agree with that. All right. Is this the last one? The last one. Okay. Thomas H. says, "Russ, these are good food for thought questions you asked. I have had a cheater comment about e-biking. I simply say that you get as much exercise as you want. The biggest health benefit I get from e-biking is the stress relief doing something that I really enjoy. That health benefit is not measured in calories burned." Yes. Yeah, you get a lot of benefits besides calories. Even if you're not losing weight, you are getting exercise. And for me, like I said, I might not be losing weight on my e-bike, but it's helping my knee. It keeps my knees moving. So there are benefits to riding the bike, pedaling, and then, if I tire out, I have the throttle to keep going. I can keep moving forward, even if I'm not pedaling. And then when I feel, yeah, okay, I feel better now, I can start pedaling again, right? And those are the things that I think I cannot do on my standard bikes without the motor, because I mean, I could go a stretch of like 5 minutes and not pedal and say, I'm just too tired, or my knee hurts, or something, is ailing me. I could still keep moving forward and start, heading back home or heading to my destination. And then when I feel better, I pedal. So there's still benefit. Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you to everybody for giving me your questions and comments. This one was a long one. I may have to break it up. I don't know how long this is. I mean, we've gone so long. This has got to be well over an hour and something. I'll have to take a look what the total hours is. If it was too long, I would have broken it up and you would know it. But otherwise, if it's one long video and you stayed the entire time, put a comment and let me know that you did that. Right? I'm just curious how many people stay that long. You're a diehard, man. You stuck it out with Russ is right. So some of you guys, break it up. They say I can't watch that long, so they'll do 20 minutes one day, 20 minutes another day, whatever, whenever they have time. That's good too. Or maybe you can't finish the whole thing. Well, you do what you can, right? But you did have a benefit today. If you watched somewhere in the in the video, we talked about the giveaway thing. Yeah. Yeah, just put a comment saying Happy Valentine's Day, Russ. And then I'll know to enter you in, and then we'll work it through. Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Okay, we're getting there. We're over 13,000 at this point, so we're shooting for the 14,000 next. Hopefully we can get that faster and build the channel. And as channel grows, more better opportunities happen for us to see new products and the like. So I'll talk to you guys next time.